Hello students. So today we are going to discuss about the planning process. So before going to start the process of the planning, we should know that what is planning. So planning is, in a very simple term, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do. Whatever we are going to do, we should decide in advance only that how we are going to do, what we are going to do, and why we are going to do. So after deciding that, after doing that, after just knowing the purpose or the objective, our planning process will start. So the very first step in the planning process will be the identification of the problem or the opportunities. First, we should know, if we have a purpose, we should know what are the problems or what are the opportunities will be there, we should first identify. So in this analyzing of the problem or the opportunities, we will have the step like, during this stage, the managers create a foundation from which they will develop their plans. They analyze current state and have a preliminary look at possible future opportunities. They examine organizations' strength and the weaknesses. After the diagnosis of all the strength and weakness only, they will decide what the objective is to be achieved. So the next process or the next step in the planning will be determination of the objectives. Now, what are the different objectives are there of the organization that will be determined by the organization. Now, in this full objective, in determining that objective of the organization, or in defining that objective of the organizations, we have to just focus, or we have to give more emphasis on what are the strategies we are going to take, what are the policies of organization are there, what are the procedures, rule, budget, and the programs of the organizations are there. Just after, before going through these things only, we can determine our objective, that what are the objectives there. After just having our strategies, policies, and procedures only, we can determine. Then next step will be establishing a planning premises. Here premises means, as the planning is every time will be for future, so we should keep in mind that what are the uncertainties can come in achieving that target, or in achieving that objective. Now we have already determined that what will be our objectives to achieve. In achieving that objective, now what are the uncertainties are there, we should establish all the uncertainties. So as this is only for future, as only the predictions will be there, so we have to predict not only the certain things, we should predict the uncertainties also, which we are going to face in achieving that objectives. That planning premises, whatever the uncertainties we are going to predict, that could be from the internal or that could be from the external. External assumptions or external presumptions could be there, like political environment or social environment or advancement of the technology or competition or the government policies, etc. So these could be are the uncertainties in achieving that objective. Or if we talk about the internal assumptions, that could be the policies, availability of resources, or quality of management. So before just achieving that objective, first we should know, or we should predict with the certainties, what are the uncertainties also there, we should predict. The next will be what are will be the determination of the alternative plans. Now here, after just establishing or after determination of the objective, we should know what are the different ways are there through which we can achieve our objective. What are the different options are there through which we can achieve our objective. So our next step will be to just determine what are the alternative options, what are the alternative ways are there to achieve that particular objective. So in this way, in this determination of the alternative, there is a very important role of research and development department of the organization, and it is also depend on what the organization's experiences are there. So this is a very crucial step for the planning of any objective or planning of any purpose. We have to just determine what are the different or possible ways are there. After determining all the alternatives, we have to evaluate that whatever the options we have selected, we have to evaluate it now. What are the pros of all the alternatives are there, and what are the cons of all the alternatives are there. After just critically evaluated all the alternative plan, we should go further. Now in that further step, there will be a selecting of the best plan. After just evaluating all the alternative, all the possible ways to achieve that particular target, we have to select what is the best one. In that evaluation, we will just figure out what are the positive sides are there and what are the negative sides are there of all the options. After just considering all the positive and negative sides, we will figure out which option have a more and more positive side and less negative side. That only will be our best plan or best option. So in the next step, we will select it. Now, there will be a next step that will be formulation of the derivative plan. Here, what is the derivative plan? That now we have to, whatever the way or whatever the option we have selected, we have to make a fruitful plan or the very effective plan for the same. For that option or for that way only, we have to just coordinate with different phases of the organization. We have to develop a new policy, a new procedure for that effective plan, and we have to work along with the measured plan to reach that same objectives. After it, next step will be implementing of the plan. After just deciding whatever the uncertainties are there in achieving that objective, and then after that, just determining what are the different ways are there to achieve that target, and after that determination, the selection of one best possible way, we have to implement our plan. In that implementation, what we have already planned or what we have already predicted to achieve, now it will be going to be in reality. So this is only an implementation of the plan. After the implementation of plan, the last step of the planning will be your follow-up. This is a very important step for whatever the different functions of management are there, that is the follow-up. Now, whatever the plan, standard plan we make to achieve any target, now we have to every time compare that what in real we are doing. Actually, this that is according to the standard plan is there or not. If it is not there, so we have to, if it is deviated from the standard plan, so we have to take a corrective measure for the same. So for that purpose only, this follow-up is very important, that to achieve that target. With this only, we are ending this session of process of planning. Thank you, students.